A century ago, the world was a very different place. Scientific knowledge, cultural norms, and technological advancements were all at different stages, leading people to hold beliefs that would seem outdated or even absurd to us today. From ideas about science and medicine to societal norms, here are 10 things people believed 100 years ago that have since been proven false or have evolved drastically. 1. The Earth was still the center of the universe. In 1924, many people still believed in the geocentric model of the universe, where Earth was thought to be the center, and the sun, moon, and stars revolved around it. Although the heliocentric model, with the sun at the center, had already been accepted for centuries, some still clung to outdated ideas about our place in the cosmos. 2. Lobster and other shellfish were poor people's food. In the early 20th century, lobster, clams, and other shellfish were considered poverty food in many places. They were so abundant and cheap that they were often served to the lower class or prisoners. It wasn't until later in the 20th century that lobster and other shellfish became regarded as gourmet foods. 3. Smoking was good for you. A century ago, many people believed smoking was not only harmless but even beneficial. Cigarette companies often marketed smoking as a way to relieve stress or improve digestion, and doctors even recommended certain brands for health reasons. It wasn't until later in the 20th century that the harmful effects of smoking became widely recognized. 4. Radium was a miracle cure. In the early 1900s, radium was considered a wonder substance. It was marketed as a cure for a wide range of ailments, from arthritis to impotence. Radium-infused products, including water, cosmetics, and even toothpaste, were sold to consumers. It wasn't until later that the dangers of radium exposure, such as radiation poisoning and cancer, became clear. 5. Women's suffrage was unthinkable in many countries. While 1920 marked a significant milestone with the ratification of the 19th Amendment in the United States, granting women the right to vote, many countries still did not allow women to vote, and there was widespread belief in many societies that women were not intellectually or emotionally capable of participating in politics. It took many more years for women's suffrage movements to gain traction worldwide. 6. Eugenics was a legitimate science. In the early 20th century, eugenics, the idea of improving the genetic quality of the human population through selective breeding, was widely accepted. Governments and institutions promoted eugenic practices, such as forced sterilization, and many believed that it was a way to eliminate undesirable traits from the gene pool. This discredited and harmful practice was eventually abandoned after its association with Nazi ideology and the horrors of World War II. 7. The flu epidemic of 1918 was just another seasonal illness. At the time of the 1918 influenza pandemic, people had limited knowledge of viruses and how they spread. The scale of the flu's impact was underestimated, and many believed it would be like any other seasonal flu. The pandemic caused millions of deaths worldwide, and it wasn't until later in the 20th century that medical science understood how the flu spreads and the importance of vaccines. 8. Science could control the weather. Many believed that advances in technology would soon give humanity the ability to control the weather. From rain-making experiments to the belief that scientists could prevent storms, there was optimism that science could solve every problem, including weather-related issues. Today, while we can influence the weather to a limited extent, like cloud seeding, complete control over the weather remains a fantasy. 9. Flying cars were just around the corner. At the dawn of the 20th century, many people believed that flying cars were just a few years away. Pioneers like Henry Ford were hopeful that personal flying vehicles would revolutionize transportation. Although the idea has resurfaced in modern times, flying cars are still not a common mode of transportation, and they remain a futuristic dream for many. 10. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built by aliens. While ancient Egyptians were well known for their architectural achievements, some believed that the Great Pyramid of Giza, due to its scale and complexity, could not have been built by humans alone. Theories of alien intervention were popular among certain groups, suggesting that extraterrestrial beings helped build the pyramids. Modern archaeology and historical studies have shown that the pyramids were built by skilled human labor, using clever engineering techniques. Looking back at the beliefs people held 100 years ago reminds us of how far we've come in terms of scientific understanding, social progress, and technological innovation. Many ideas that were once accepted without question have been debunked or evolved as new knowledge became available. The world of 2024 is vastly different from the world of 1924, and this progress reflects humanity's capacity for growth, change, and improvement.